Good morning, First-Plymouth. It is good to see you on this Memorial Day weekend. So, on days like this, we have a beautiful time together at 10:30 with the bell choir. So then it took a little longer. So just don't worry about it. They're going to keep on doing lights and things behind us. It's all good. But we have a special announcement from our youth department. So Ella and Tori, come on up. What do y'all got going on?
Good morning. Hello, I'm Tori.
And I'm Ella.
And I'm handling the mic. Yeah. So actually, we're really excited because we're going to be bringing back this really cool opportunity for everybody in the church, not just youth, called Camp Kaleo. Ella's been, so she's going to tell you a bit about it.
Yeah, so the weekend is June 14th through June 16th, and it's just an amazing experience. It's right on the Loop River, and there's canoeing and tie-dye and just endless fun. We also do like morning devotionals, and it's just a really good time to connect with nature and kind of build community with the church congregation.
Yeah, so that's available for families as a whole, individuals, anybody who wants to come. It does have air-conditioned cabins, so you don't want to sleep on the ground. You can still if you really want to. But yeah, and you can find the information for that on the website, or you can talk to one of us if you really see us around. But yeah, the information is all on the website if you want to sign up. So thank you.
Yeah. We hope that you'll come. It's a super fun time.
I love it. Yes, thank you, Ella and Tori. What a great opportunity. Yeah, no, you can give her a hand. It's all great. Look at that. I hope if you like camping or glamping that you sign up. It's a great time for folks to gather together, First-Plymouthers, in a beautiful setting. Nature always speaks to us of what God is up to. So, here's our expectation today that something in what we do together will speak to you. That's right. Will help you be restored and renewed. That's something, the music, the prayers, the message, something restores you, transforms you, directs you, divine life at work. And it's always good to worship with Orion, so let us worship.
There I was, lost and alone, blind, left in the dark, falling fast and full of fear, destroying all in my path like a bombardier. I came unglued, I came undone, cried for help from the one above. In desperate times, he held me there, like a father, like a friend. It's past, my life has changed. I'm not the person I used to be. And you were there, right by my side, through these hard times and the questions why. You saved my life, you rescued me, gave me a chance again and living. In desperate times, he held me there, like a father, like a friend, like a father, like a friend.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So the Psalms are the prayer book of the church. It has this repository of the human experience, from moments of despair to moments of utter joy. I often tell folks that are struggling to put words to their experience to just go to the Psalms. He has all we need. So hear this psalm, Psalm 8, a psalm of joy and praise. O Lord, our sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and infants, you have founded a bulwark because of your foes, to silence the enemy and the avenger. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established, what are humans that you're mindful of them? Mortals, that you care for them. Yet you have made them a little lower than God and crowned them with glory and honor. You have given them dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under their feet, all sheep and oxen, and also the beasts of the fields, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the seas. O Lord, our sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth.
So do you remember Stephen Wright? He was this comic in the late 80s, early 90s. And his shtick was he would speak in a really deadpan voice and share kind of silly puns, but with an odd twist on reality. He was kind of a mix between Rodney Dangerfield and Far Side Comics, right? It would go something like this. I went to a fancy French restaurant named Deja Vu. The waiter said, "Don't I know you?" Or like this. I went to a general store. They wouldn't let me buy anything specifically. I Xeroxed a mirror. Now I have an extra Xerox machine. He just would kind of stand there and repeat these. Now, I don't know why, but sometimes on a really busy Sunday here at First-Plymouth, before the service I'm ushering. I really always aspired to be an usher, I think. I'm helping people find a pew, and I'm kind of running up and down. But for some reason, I start doing kind of a Stephen Wright routine as I'm seating people. It's not very funny. I don't know why I do it, but someone will ask, like, do you have a worship order? And I'll say, sure, on your knees. You know, it's like, it's not funny, but I'll start doing this shtick. Someone will say, how many people can fit in a pew? And I'll say, 53 Lilliputians. More if they sit on each other's lap. I just start doing this kind of Stephen Wright thing. Someone will say, is your sermon long today? And I'll say, no, but it's wide. Right? Or they'll say, is the choir singing today? And I'll say really earnestly, what else would they do? It's not funny, but I start doing this like Stephen Wright routine. But I tell you what was funny. Right before a service, and I had nothing to do with it. It was a mistake, but it was funny. It was a big 11:59 service, and so we were packed. And you know how we play music over the speakers here, and you know, pop or rock. It's kind of like coming into a basketball game. And it was a big celebration service. So when I was in high school, I loved The Who, and so I picked "Who Are You" for the last song to be just cranking. You remember that? Who are you? Who? You remember that song, right? And so it was cranking. And I came out, and I stood in the center, and I was about to kind of begin the worship of God, and I'd forgotten near the end, Roger Daltrey is cranking and he drops an F-bomb. Do you remember? He goes, "Who the F are you?" And like he screamed it out over the speakers. And I was standing here about to start a worship service. And everybody just kind of looked at me. And I said, "Well, there you go." I mean, what else do you say? I bet that was the only I'm sure this was the only Christian worship service in America that ever started with an F-bomb, right? Now, setting aside the F-bomb, who are you is like the greatest existential question. I mean, as Pete Townsend keeps repeating that in the background, who are you? That is the most basic question. Psalm 8 in your hand asks that grand existential question, what are human beings that thou art mindful of them? Who are you? So I Googled human being recently, and you get these paragraphs, you know, that human being is a hairless bipedal primate with the ability for language and social networks, and it goes on and on talking about that we're the most curious of the great apes, that we develop science and philosophy, and then it goes on and on and on. And it occurred to me after paragraphs, I don't think it ever mentioned who we really are. Who are you? You're a person, or a soul. I use those words synonymously. You're a soul. You're a consciousness. I mean, that is your essence. And in 5 paragraphs, it never mentioned our essence. You've got to remember who you are, because like in other settings, like to a government bean counter, you're just a social security number. Or to a corporation, you're a producer. Or to the economy, you're a consumer. Or like to a scientist, you're 5 elements. You know, over 99% of you is just hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, calcium, and phosphorus. That's what you are. Like 99.3%, that's what you are. But you got to remember who you are. You're a soul, a person. So I think church, I think this is really important. Church is the place that sees who you really are. Every other setting of life has you in some other category or some other definition. It's here that we see you are a soul with the divine imprint. Man, sometimes I think that's like the critical function of a church. That we see you for who you are, a soul. If we didn't have church, we'd have to come up with some other place that understood the essence. You know, today we talk a lot about diversity and inclusion. But we mostly talk around the 3 categories of race, class, and gender. And it's really important because we focus on race, class, and gender because we have to fight our way to justice. Our society's unfair. The world's unfair. And so we are constantly talking about race, class, and gender to try to create a better world, a world that's more fair. So it's important. But you're not those categories primarily. You're a person. You're a soul. Now, again, we got to put people in those categories because we're trying to forge our way to justice. But you got to realize you can't really, a soul is the fundamental category. You're not some other category. You're a person. First and foremost, always. And so we wouldn't want to lose sight of that. And if we're talking about diversity, we suddenly skip over the most fundamental diversity that there is. We put persons in categories and we function in those categories, but there's a more basic diversity. The primary one. Do you know what it is? Personality. We are wildly different personalities. I mean, wildly different. And you're having to deal with living in that diversity all the time, because everyone you meet is a different personality. Oh, sometimes you might share race, class, or gender. You never share personality, ever. Now, to be philosophical for a moment, your personality is not your essence. That's your soul or your consciousness. The personality is an expression, kind of a glimpse of your essence, but it's not your essence. It's something. A personality is like the emperor that comes out on the balcony and waves hello to the crowds. Your personality is kind of waving hello, but it's not really who you are. Well, no, I got a better metaphor. Your personality is sort of a fashion show. This is just a metaphor, but your personality is the way you're displaying your style. It's not your soul, but it's kind of displaying the style of who you are. So, we have all these different personalities, and sometimes people drive us nuts, right? And it's hard to get along with these different personalities. And so if you really want to deal with diversity, start at that most fundamental level. You've got lots of personalities in your life, and you need to learn to kind of slow down and appreciate that they're very different than you. Because again, some people are going to drive you nuts, but you just got to pause and go, well, they see things different. They're very different. Do you know that in the past sort of 30 years, psychologists have made a lot of strides in just trying to describe personality? Not personality disorders or not mental health struggles, but just all the different ways people can be in their personality. And it began with what you call a lexical hypothesis. These psychologists looked at all the words through literature and all written things in internet, all the words we use to describe each other. They gathered thousands upon thousands of words about human beings will describe other human beings in their personality. Then they began to group them into synonyms, and then they kept winnowing it down by statistical analysis until they came to 5 words that seemed to cover the range of how human beings describe personality. So the 5 basic traits that they came up with were, number 1, conscientiousness. Number 2, agreeableness. Number 3, neuroticism. Number 4, openness to experience and reality, openness. And number 5, extroversion. I can remember that easily because it spells out canoe, okay? So first, conscientiousness. And each one of these is a spectrum. Every human being is on a different part of the spectrum. Conscientiousness, are you very organized? And are you always on time? Are you very consistent? Can others always count on you? Are you pretty formalized and judicious in the way you live? Conscientiousness. Or the other part of the spectrum, are you really spontaneous? And you really barely know what time it is anyway, and you're not very organized, and it's not a value judgment, it's a different personality. You're not into kind of organizing anything. And so you're somewhere on that spectrum of conscientiousness. Number 2, agreeableness, just like what it says. Are you a person that, tends to go along and you're very easy to be with, and you tend to just kind of affirm whatever someone's saying? Or are you a different part of the spectrum? Are you always kind of slightly disagreeing? Are you a little bit of a contrarian, right? And maybe a little wary or suspicious of others in some way? Or, where are you on that spectrum of agreeableness? And then neuroticism. Where are you on the spectrum of one side of it is, you're really pessimistic and you have a lot of negative thoughts and you really struggle with anxiety. Or are you really on the other side of the spectrum, you're mostly calm and confident. You kind of cruise along and very positive. But it's a whole spectrum of thoughts and behaviors. And so where are you on that? And then the next one is openness. So in your personality, are you the type of personality that just loves new things? or tries new things all the time? Or are you pretty much a person of habit? You kind of, and you're not really that curious to experience tons of new. I mean, it's a whole spectrum. And then finally, extroversion. Just what it sounds like. Is your personality, do you really love to like be around groups all the time and really gregarious, or just rather not be around people all the time? And it's a whole spectrum. So they've got these 5 traits, and the thing is, each person is in a completely unique, different configuration that could produce millions and millions and millions, billions and billions of versions of what kind of personality you are. And we cruise along fast in life, and we're putting people in these kind of categories, and we sum them up in our mind, but they're this complex mix of all these traits, and you need to slow down sometimes and just realize whoever you're talking to is really different. Really different. And first, just to go to a little appreciation. Wow, look at this personality. I mean, I know it could drive us nuts, but sometimes just appreciate a little bit. They've got a different way of looking at things, or they have a different way of experiencing things or understanding things. That's the fundamental diversity you have to deal with every day. There's lots of peeps every day, many different personalities. But now I want to tell you something really cool. I think this is amazing. So psychologists will tell you that your personality is somewhat baked in. But they make sure to say somewhat, because even psychologists notice you actually can adapt your personality to moments and times. Now, this is really cool. Follow me philosophically, because this is amazing. You're not just a consciousness, you're actually a self-reflective consciousness. You can think about yourself. Now, this is wild. I mean, no one can really understand. How's it possible if you're a consciousness? How can you step outside of yourself and reflect upon yourself? This is like a miracle. It's like a gift from God. You actually now, in your personality, you have the ability to reflect upon your personality, which you think, how's that even possible? Your personality. But no, you can kind of step aside and think about it. And you have the opportunity. This is the gift from God. You actually have the opportunity to develop yourself and evolve or adapt to any given moment. Well, this is wild. And this turns all of life into this adventure of adapting and evolving all the time. Now, I'm not talking about it's not even something you'd have to sustain. It might be one moment at a time. Let's say that I tend to be super disorganized. I'm really low on the conscientiousness scale, let's say. And I'm not on time. I'm not on time at things, and that's not the way to do it. Let's say that. But then it's my high school nephew's graduation. You can kind of focus and think, well, my personality might be a little late, but today I'm not going to be. I mean, this is a trivial example, but I'm just trying to say you actually can alter your personality as is adaptable. Not to some massive degree. I mean, you're not a chameleon, but you're adaptable. This opens up infinite possibility to how you will express your personality every day. You can tweak it here and there. I find that wildly empowering. So Stephen Wright once said this: there was a power outage at a department store. 20 people were trapped on the escalator. No one's trapped. You're actually never trapped. You can always take a step a different direction. This is amazing. Each human life is endless possibility. This is amazing. You're a person. Thanks be to God.
Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Hallelujah. There we go. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. You alone, O Lord, are holy. Come and fill our hearts with your peace. Hallelujah. When we gather together for worship, we gather and something has happened here. The Spirit is with us. So take your candle, come forward, say your prayer, celebrate. Know that the light of Christ has been here in this space as you come forward. Come and pray.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Won't let Satan blow it out, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan blow it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan blow it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I know you wanted to sing that. Why didn't you? Let's sing it together. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Y'all sound good. So today on your way out, come by the chapel. There's this bread and this cup. Jesus meets us there. Oh, amazing things we encounter there. And then we'll have what we need for the journey of life and faith.
And so I always say to go into this week and make sure you hold fast to what is good. But you'll have your own unique way of doing that through your own personality, so do so. I say return no one evil for evil, but you'll have your own unique way that you find opportunities to just let it go. Then I say find your joy in serving others. There'll be some gift you have. It's been given to you to share and to help someone, that particular gift. So go forth. Be who you are, all in Christ's name. Amen.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. No way you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. 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 She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. He loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. Good time, guys.